Hello everyone and welcome to Matchbook Flashback. I'm your host Alec Ogg, and I've got this big collection of old matchbooks I bought at an estate sale. They're here in this big glass jar, and the matchbooks are all different colors and designs from all different times and places. But the thing is, when I strike each match, the flame begins to swirl hypnotically, and if you look into the flame, you can see a story unfolding in there, trapped like a memory in the matchbook. Let me show you what I mean. I'll grab one for today, reaching in the jar, closing my eyes so it's random. I choose you, Pikachu. Okay, got one. Oh cool, this matchbook is from Florida. I went to college in Florida. The matchbook cover is a nice vibrant green, but you can tell it has aged with time. In a white font, it says Estero, Florida. And underneath that, there's some clip art images of like an Australian pine tree in the middle, and beside it are two cabbage palm trees. Inside, it says it was printed in 1978, almost 50 years ago. Well, let's light one of these Estero, Florida matches and see if there's a story inside. Now, when I light this match, I need you to look deeply into the flame, because that's where the story will be. Look deeply into the flame. Deeply into the flame.
What is it?
There's only one thing in the mountains that leaves a track like this.
My people named him Sasquatch. You call him Bigfoot.
All right, I am leaving. I'm in the car. It's early on a Saturday morning, summertime, and I am driving out of Memphis to someone 4 hours away who has a story to tell. This person has lung cancer and wants to get this off their chest, so I'm driving over there for the day, and we will see what story it is. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but you guys are along for the journey on this one. We're meeting at a public park, and we're going to record in one of those picnic shelter pavilions by a playground. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Alec.
Alec?
Yeah. Let's see here. Do they have some power running out here?
Right over there where I got the
You got that cord running?
Yep.
Because I was thinking, I have this little one, but I also have like a full-on microphone. Are you comfortable if I set up a full microphone for you?
Don't matter.
Okay, cool. And can you just tell me your name and where you're from, and I'll check the levels here?
Yeah, I'm Henry Luis Guajardo. I was born in California, east of LA, matter of fact, and was raised in Florida for up until 2004. That's when I left. The last time I've been to Florida. I have several brothers, one sister, and we lived way out in the country. Well, pretty much country, but where a lot of this has happened was during the year 1978, the fall, I believe it was August, on a Wednesday night. As a matter of fact, that's how I know that the second one happened on a Wednesday night. But the first one I can't recall what day it was or whatever, because it was after my birthday. So,
Can you tell me a little bit about the setting of this and how old you were?
oh, I was 13 years old at the time.
Okay.
It was 1978. I was 13 years old. It was just after my birthday, because my birthday's in July, and I got details on my phone here of where it was located. The address that we lived at was 4090 Coronado Street or Drive or whatever it was, and that's in Estero, Florida. We had what we call a well, but the well was producing like what would you call it? High iron water.
Yeah.
So we had to go next door to get our good drinking water because they had city water. So I went over one day to go get some city water, and was filling up jugs. And then whenever I looked back, I noticed that I heard something behind me, and it was over back in this area, back in here. And there was like a 6-foot chain link fence they used to have there, and it went all the way around their property to keep the deer and our chickens and everything crossing over their fence line. But when I was getting the water, I heard the fence shaking. So I looked back and I thought, what in the world is that? And I'm looking at it, and it looked like a silhouette, like a shadow of a man just standing there. But then I noticed that it was above 6 foot tall. The head was above there. His shoulders was pretty much right where the 6 foot mark was. So when I noticed it, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, what's it just standing there for? Then it moved. When I seen it move, I dropped both jugs. I even forgot to turn the water off. I ran home because my baby brother was sitting on the front porch waiting for me to get back so I can make some Kool-Aid and something for us to drink. And whenever I got back to the porch, I just snatched him up, carried him into the room, and we hid under the bed until my mother got back, because she was working at the time, and it was summer vacation, and she can't stop working. So me being the oldest at the time, being 13, I was able to sit home and babysit. So when we got up under the bed, we ended up hearing something on the outside of the house. We didn't grunting, but we couldn't tell what it was. It was like we stayed under there. We didn't want to look. We didn't want to have no part of it, because this thing was huge. I mean, I thought it was a man, but no. This thing was it was a bulky. I mean, 3 foot shoulders. His shoulders were at least 3 foot. I'm like, no way. I didn't even know what it was. I just thought it was some hairy monster. At 13 years old, you see something like that, you're not in your right mind to go, hey, what is that? And go want to talk to it. No. I was frightened, ran home, grabbed my baby brothers, put him under the bed with me. We stayed there until Mom got home.
What time of day was it?
I'd say it was around 4 o'clock.
Oh, so it was daytime.
It was daytime. Because my mom was supposed to be home at 6. So I was the only one left there with my brother home. My other brothers, they was, I'm going to go to my friend's house. I can't go because my baby brother, he was born with muscular dystrophy, so he wasn't able to walk, and he was my backpack back in the day. So I used to carry him everywhere to his classes in school and everything like that, because, his muscles wasn't growing. Yeah. He was 7 years old at the time, and that's when it really started taking effect. Because he was able to walk, but his muscles, they never grew from 7 years until he was 34 when he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, he was my backpack. Everywhere I went, he went.
What was his name?
Andrew. Yeah, and
what did you tell Andrew when you guys were trying to
there's something out in the woods. There's something out in the woods. I don't know what it is. It's big. It's hairy. I don't know what it is. So we went and hid. I closed and locked the doors and hid. My mom had to, and we ended up falling asleep underneath the bed because it took a long time. We weren't coming out from under that bed until somebody got home. No, there ain't no way.
And did you tell your mom what you saw?
Yes, oh yes. And she was like, oh, well, we thought it was what you call it. Well, see, we had chickens for a long time, like 6 years. We was raising chickens, getting our own eggs and cooking our chickens. Then one day, our chickens started coming up missing. And after about the last 2 years we was there, all our ducks, all our chickens, they started low and getting less and less and less and less. Then we didn't have any. We couldn't figure out what it was. We'd hear screams way out in the woods, but we knew that it was either a panther, because that's what they screamed too. And my mom always said, "It's a panther, it's a panther." Well, my mom one day had a run-in with the panther, and that was funny. She's out here calling it kitty, 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 and it's sitting on top of the old school bus. We used to migrate to different states and stuff.
Yeah.
We used to go and pick. Oh man, you just whatever.
Was migratory working?
Yes,
Yeah.
go to different farms and we'd pick tomatoes, jalapenos, watermelons, tobacco, whatever it was, until I was at least 17 was the last time we'd done it. So, yeah, so.
And so, you showed me on Google Maps, but just for the listener, can you describe what that area where you were at the water well looked like?
Well, where we had our house at, it was a Jim Walters home, cheaply made anyway. But the yard was pretty clear where we had our house, because our driveway, I would like to show you, but you ain't gonna be able to see it because it's all woods covered. You can't. But the driveway was on the other far side of the house. When this happened, it was on their side of the house. When I looked back that way, and when I seen it, that's all I had to bolt. I had to get out of there.
Yeah. And what's the name of that town again? How do you spell that?
Estero, Estero.
And what was that town like in the 70s? Was it near?
Oh,
city
there's
or
no, nothing. Right now, it's overdeveloped. The only place that, like, if I could show you,
Yeah.
the only place that wasn't overdeveloped it's still this location. I mean.
And here, for the listener, Henry pulled up Google Maps to show me the property on his phone, but the Google Maps images weren't that great. But later, my brother, who lives down in Florida, he drove 2 hours south of Tampa to go scope out this property. And so we have those pictures my brother took in the show notes, and we'll talk more about my brother visiting the property later.
Because right there's the house, and like I said, it was out that way. But
Okay, yeah, so we're seeing a lot of
palm trees,
Florida scrub.
Australian pines, Melaleuca, paper trees. It was all back there. It was thick. Even this side of the road was thick. But over here, this is all cleared out. Where these Australian pines are, that was in our front yard.
Oh, okay.
That was our front yard. My brother drowned in 1975. Yeah, he drowned in 1975. We were still living there. And ever since then, I mean, he planted that thing real small. Now look how big it is.
He planted those.
He planted to one of them. Now they took over.
Wow.
One of them just took over because that was the only Australian pine.
How did your brother drown in 75?
Oh, he jumped in after my other brother that got caught in the current. He jumped in to save him, but he got caught in the current too, and it dragged him under.
To save your brother with the muscular dystrophy?
No.
Oh.
They were older than me.
Oh, okay.
The one that drowned was 13, and my other brother, he was like 11 and a half, almost 12.
Wow.
And I was like 9 and a half when that happened, so I witnessed it all whenever he jumped in, because my brother Rick was already going down, and my brother Junior jumped in, and when he did, he grabbed him and pushed him. When he did, he pushed himself back, and the undertow grabbed him. They didn't find him until about 4 hours later.
Where was that? What body of water?
That was in Bonita Springs at the Bonita Dam.
Bonita Dam. So, was there a current in the dam that was pulled him under?
Yeah. It was a bad current. You could see like whirlpools in the water. So they were swimming on the wrong day. There was a lot of people there that day. They were trying to impress girls.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to witness that.
Yeah, well, that's things that we have to deal with, you know what I mean?
That's a brave act from your brother.
Right? Oh, yes. He laid his own life down to save my brother.
Yeah.
It cost him his.
And what was the brother who drowned's name?
Junior. Yeah, Art. He was named after my dad. Art. Right over here where the telephone poles was our driveway. But like directly right back in here, like I mean straight back, right straight back. We had a school bus parked at the wood line because the wood line was further back. This is all clear, and we had our school bus parked back there. And that was when the second encounter happened. Me and my brothers on a Wednesday night, we were waiting for the church bus, right? And we was waiting there. It was a Wednesday night. We went to Wednesday night services at the Baptist church. And when we was waiting there, my baby brother, the one that had muscular dystrophy, sitting in the back of an old 67 pickup that we had there, didn't run. So he's sitting there waiting for the bus, and it never showed up. So at that time, it was around 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. It was just starting to get dark. And he looks back at the bus and he's like, "What is that? Who is that?" So me and my other brother, the one that I live with over here, he turns over there and he looks. He's like, "What is that?" So I looked at it, and sure enough, there's that thing again, sitting right there, standing in front of the bus, trying to pry open the doors of the school bus. And the way it was reaching, it was like prying at the bottom, but trying to pry in the middle at the same time. And the length of that he was reaching was, I couldn't.
So he was holding the bottom of the
he was trying to pry the door, trying to pry it loose. And
then his other arm was stretched up.
Stretched up about midway, trying to pry the door open. When we yelled, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because at that time we thought it was a homeless man.
Yeah.
It was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And when it stood up, it had to stand up. And the mirror on the bus, when he was like hunched over, like just barely hunched over before he fully stood up, it was at the bottom of the mirror. Then he went above the mirror. And when he turned, I'd say it was about 7'2", somewhere around there.
So was his head like up at the top of the school bus?
No.
Okay.
At the mirror. You know the mirrors on the side of the bus?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, those mirrors right there.
So was he at the... What door was he trying to open?
The school, the entrance bus.
Okay, I was picturing the back. Okay, I see. I see. Yeah.
He's trying to pry it open because we that's how we used to open it up, because when we closed it, we'd just jiggle it and it would slide open.
Oh.
But it freaked me out that day.
And what did it look like?
It looked like a man ape. It looked like a hairy man. That's what I said. It looked like a homeless man, but it was all covered in hair. But when he turned and looked at us, I didn't want to keep staring at his face, because no way. All I know is it was time to go. So I grabbed my baby brother out. We was going to go to our other neighbor's house, which is around the other corner.
Uh-huh.
They weren't home. So my brother said, "Let's go back to the house." I said, No. So we took off. We went down all of the Tropicana Bullet Drive, all the way to Williams Road, and we walked at least 5 miles to our old school bus driver that used to drive us to school. We was going to go to church that night. We was determined to get there, but it got too late by the time we got there. But no, when we seen that one, that was enough. And as we was walking down on Williams Road, we could hear it following us into the bushes. We could hear something back into there. We didn't know what it was. We could hear the palmetto leaves rustling about. We couldn't tell where it was at. We couldn't see where it was. All we know is we was being followed until we made it to the main road where all the cars was at, which is US 41, and there was a lot of cars there. And I said, "Let's stay on this road, because that way it would keep it back. Let's stay on the main road. My little baby brother, let's take the shortcut." No, that's right, straight through the woods. We're not going through the woods. We're staying on the main road the whole way, walking in the middle of the road until we got to our location. We weren't going to stand on the side of the road walking. We walked in the middle of the lane, because there wasn't that many cars. When they did, we'd step off to the side. But
what did your little brother think?
He was shocked. He didn't know what it was. We couldn't figure out what it was. So I didn't hear about Bigfoot until way a lot later. Like, it was an episode of The $6 Million Man. And I was like, "Mom, that's what it looked like. It looked like that. It looked like that, Mom."
$6 million. I'll try to pull that reference.
It was a Bionic Man, $6 million man. It was Andre the Giant that played the Bigfoot.
Last on the $6 million man, a geologist team was in the California mountains planting new earthquake sensors when suddenly...
Well, what is it?
There's only one thing in the mountains that leaves a track like this.
My people named him Sasquatch. You call him Bigfoot.
And for the listener, if you want to see this depiction of Bigfoot to reference what Henry's talking about, that is also linked in the show notes. It was mostly black?
It was all black, yeah. But here's the thing about it. The first one looked a lot different than the second one because the first one was more broader. This one and it had bigger, like Patty is on it was like real no figure. This second one, it had a smaller waist. It was like it was a juvenile or something. I don't know. It didn't match up to the other one.
And which one looked like the $6 million man, Bigfoot?
The first one. The first one did,
okay.
yes, because he was huge. I mean, he was huge, broad shoulders, thick waist, and I seen that. Like it was no further from here to the Jeep, and I'd say that Jeep is what, 30 yards? Yeah. The only thing that kept me separated was the 6-foot fence. But the problem was the 6-foot side that he was standing on was our backyard. So running in that way, because I was figuring my baby brother is on the porch.
Oh.
I got to get to him before it gets to him. Because he ain't going to be able to defend himself. So I mustered every bit of speed I could get and got there, snatched him up. And he didn't understand why I snatched him up or grabbed him up and said, there's something out in the woods, bro. There's something out in the woods. I don't know what it is. And then we stayed under the bed since the whole time.
Yeah. Did you tell any of your neighbors about it?
We talked about it, and our neighbors that we was going to go the second time with my other brothers, when we was going to go to their house, they told us the story when we told them. They said that their grandmother hit one coming on Williams Road.
Hit one with her car?
Hit one with her car. And we never heard very much about that one. But, yeah, they said their grandmother hit one. So they believed what we was telling them. The only thing was, when we walked to our school bus driver's house, and then they had to call my mom to get off work to come pick us up. When my mom got there, the school bus driver says, y'all need to keep this hush-hush. Y'all don't talk about it to nobody, because if you do, you're going to have people over here from the government. You're going to have them all digging into there, and they're going to tell you to shut up, don't talk about it.
The school bus driver told you that?
Yes. Yes, she was.
As a kid?
Yeah, she told my mom and Russ at the same time.
Wow.
She said, don't talk about it to nobody. Nobody. Because what's going to happen is the men in black, because they still believed in the men in black back then too, because of the UFOs and everything. They said, they'll shut you up. They will make sure that you won't talk about it. So we kept it quiet years.
Yeah.
But I told the school people, the friends at school, mocked. Oh, yeah, the Bigfoot, yeah, okay. I said, you don't know until you see them, man. You don't know.
Did you smell anything?
No, that's the thing. The only thing that, like I said, the first time, if it wasn't for touching the chain link fence, they may hear that chain link fence rattle, I would have never knew it was there. It was quiet. There was no sound, no birds, no nothing. It was like, when it moved, that was it. That's what I knew. This ain't no shadow. And when I seen it, it just backed up. It disappeared. It just took 2-3 steps back, and that was it. It was gone. But I was gone too. By the time I seen it start stepping back, I was left. I left there, went to go get my brother.
Do you recall any of the details of the face?
It was too far back.
Okay.
It was like everything was black.
Silhouette,
Everything was
yeah.
black. Everything was silhouetted. But yeah.
Other than the chickens disappearing, were there ever any other unusual things around?
Yeah,
the
our
area?
collie died. Same place where we seen it at the bus. We tried to pry the bus doors open.
Yeah.
It died 2 years before that.
Just unexpectedly?
We thought it was heartworms, but we don't know. We don't know.
Okay, but you found the body?
Yeah, we found the body.
Yikes. And then, what do you think it was doing trying to get in that school bus?
Get in there for bed, because we stored a bunch of clothes in there. Because, like I said, we migrated, and we would leave our work clothes and stuff inside there. But since the bus broke down, we used it as storage. We put our old beds in there. So if we ever did leave, we had all that stuff ready for the next place we was moving into. We have already had our beds. We had our winter clothes and stuff like that. And I believe it was trying to get in there for that.
Wow. Did y'all ever see any hair in there or anything?
I don't know. After we seen it, I quit going into the woods. I used to run all out in them woods every day. Run out there, climb up trees, ride them down.
Yeah.
You know, little kid things that we used to do. But
That stuff scared it out of you?
yeah, I wouldn't go back out in the woods again. There's been a lot of times after that, before the house burned down, that I felt every time I was going to the school bus, something spying on me, something staring at me, and I could feel it, but I could not pinpoint it anywhere. You know, you just get that feeling, somebody's looking at me.
Yeah. And you were telling me before we recorded that the house burned down, which is why it's not on Google Maps anymore. Can you describe what it was like, the house burning down?
Oh, the house, when it burnt down, me and my brother we was already at our friend's house. And our friend, you know, the one that had the grandmother, we was over at their house because we played together a lot. You know, they had little young kids and everything, teenagers, and we all played together. And when we was over there, the oldest one went outside and said, "Hey, your house is on fire." So we went back to go over there, and they done called the fire trucks and everything. Other than that, we don't even know what caused it on fire. Probably bad electrical. There ain't no telling.
And so, was your dad around at this time?
No. My dad got chased off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got chased off because he can't stay faithful to a woman.
Okay.
Couldn't stay faithful to my mom.
And so, did your mom ever mention anything about this kind of stuff, other than seeing the cougar?
No.
Okay.
No. She was like, well, my sister, you know, well, she's basically a half sister, same mother but different dads. But she was one night she was frantic. She said that she was seeing red eyes out in the woods, staring like I can't even show you. Behind our house, when they put the septic tank in, they pulled out 3 large limestone rocks that was in the place. She said, and it's like right where our kitchen door was, if you walk straight off the kitchen porch, right there was the rocks. And right there, she was saying it was hiding behind the rocks, staring at her while she was looking out the kitchen window, or the kitchen door window. And from here to that jungle gym.
Yeah, so like 10, 15 feet, 20 feet.
20 feet.
Yeah. And she said they were red eyes, like glowing red?
Yeah, she said she could see them because they were glowing because of the light from the house, because it was dark.
Yeah.
And they were lighting up. And she was so scared, she didn't know what she was looking at.
I've heard that before.
She had no idea what she was looking at because all she was seeing was red eyes. Doing this.
I was moving back and forth.
Yeah, moving back and forth. We tried to look, and we mocked her. We made fun of her. And this was before I had my encounter. And we used to joke with her. Yeah, oh, you're just seeing things. You're just seeing things. But I had to find out the hard way. She wasn't seeing things.
Did you apologize to her or ever tell her what you saw? Oh, you didn't?
We were kids. We picked on my sister a lot. She tried to act like Big Mama when Mama wasn't home. And
yeah.
You're not Mama. You're not going to tell us what to do.
And have you ever seen anything else unusual in your life?
Honest people. You want to be honest? Honest people.
Yeah.
It's unusual to see an honest person, but yeah. No, other than that, just those two encounters. Now, wait a minute. There was one time when the palmetto berries. There's a certain year that you could pick palmetto berries. They used to give a good price for them back in the days. They don't know more. I was out picking berries one year, and all the birds stopped chirping. And I was like, I had this eerie feeling that something was around. I could never pinpoint it where, who, it just strange anomaly. I grabbed up all my berries, got them all binned up, put them in the trunk, and I drove off. That's it. That's about it. Other than that, I was like, it just got quiet. Why did it get quiet? I mean, you can hear the birds now. You know, you can hear the birds right now, and it's just like nothing. Just it got quiet, and then when it went quiet like that, it's like, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah. So, when that one shook the chain link fence, do you think it wanted you to know it was there?
No, I don't know. I have no idea what its intentions was. All I know is it was staring at me. It was looking. I mean, I don't know if I was its next burger or its next being intrigued on what am I doing.
Like curious?
Yeah, like he's curious. What am I doing? I'm over here filling jugs up. What's he doing with the jug? What is he pulling? How's he pulling water? Or what's he pulling out of that house? What's he doing? You know, because I don't know if they know they use jugs. I don't know if they understand that water can come out of a faucet on the side of a house. I have no idea.
What do you think they are?
There's a lot of speculations on what they are. I couldn't really tell you. I mean, I really couldn't tell you. I mean, they look like a man. They have fingers, a giant chimpanzee. But it didn't have. If you notice what I got on my.
Oh, he got
Okay.
the Sasquatch as his
Yeah,
wallpaper.
that's basically what it looked like. That's why I saved this picture.
Oh, okay.
That's basically what it looked like. But
Can you send me that one?
Send you that picture?
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll put screenshots of those images in the show notes so people can see them.
And that's the closest any one of them I've seen look like.
So you said it looked half ape, half man?
Half ape, half man. It looked like I said, the second one definitely, whenever it was trying to get into the school bus, that one definitely looked like an overgrown chimpanzee. But because the way the ears, it had ears like us. I mean,
Were its ears sticking out?
yeah, they were sticking out. You could see their ears. I mean, they weren't laid back. They weren't pointy. They just like our ears.
Could you tell if it had a bridged nose like us or it was flat?
It looked like a boxer.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
you got that boxing nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wild, man.
Did you ever have any unusual sensations?
Oh, like that. I think that's what made us go to sleep so quick. I grabbed my brother up and went under the bed because we were asleep in no time.
Really?
In no time, because when we started hearing the grunting outside, because I went to the furthest back bedroom, and the back bedroom was on the same side of where the chicken pens and all that was at, so we could see the chickens and everything. And right behind there, there's that big rock. There's the bedroom right in here. We could hear something out there, just like it breathing. And the next thing I know, we're waking up.
And so you were like terrified, and the next thing you know, you're waking up.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yes. So, oh no.
So it was unusual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very, because we don't like taking naps.
Yeah.
That's why we picked on our sister.
Well, that is weird.
Yeah, because it's just like,
What do you make of that?
I don't know. Maybe we was in too much shock.
Yeah.
Well, I was. I don't know how long because he didn't know. I kept telling him there's a monster outside. There's something outside. There's something big. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's something big. I don't know what it is. And he just lulled himself to sleep too, I guess, because we both woke up at the same time. Mom's home. Mom's home. Mom. We just seen something out in the woods.
And what did she say again?
She was like, "Oh, you sure you seen it could have been a homeless man?" I was like, "No, it wasn't nobody. It was somebody huge, somebody over bigger than my brother Wendell, taller than brother Wendell." He was like, "Oh, okay."
Why do you feel like it's important to share these stories or these
Because
experiences?
people got to realize that not everybody's telling lies, and everybody's had an experience, and whether they want to believe it or not, you can believe it, whatever. It don't matter. It still puts doubt in you anyway. You have to know. Knowing, and that's what I was trying to talk about. Belief is doubt because you really don't see it. You believe it, but until you see it, then you know it. When you know they exist, the belief's gone. There's no more doubt. There's no more this. You either know or you don't know. Well, I had my experience, and I know they exist because I had my experience. I've seen them twice, and whether if it was the same one or not, I don't think it was. Well, I don't believe it was anyway. It gives you a different perspective of what's really out in these woods that we don't have. We don't have no clue what's happened. Our woods and forests are not really looked into, just like the oceans. We barely scratch the surface of what's in the oceans. How do we know what's in our backwoods? Like that mountain up there. See how wooded that is?
Yeah.
How do you know what's up there?
No
You think
idea.
just chipmunks and squirrels live up there?
And I drove in from Memphis, and it's just about all woods between here
Right.
and Memphis. So
Right?
it makes you think.
Yeah, well, they found them in Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's right above Tennessee. I mean, even in northern Tennessee, even in Ohio, they've got a different name for it. But whether or not, they're still the same, whatever they are. I can't tell you they're a man. I can't tell you they're an animal, because it's like a hybrid.
Did you refer to it as a skunk ape?
I couldn't refer to it. I didn't know what it was. Like I said, it was either a man or an animal, or the fine line of both. I couldn't tell you what. I mean, they got so many names for them. I couldn't tell you what it was.
I was just curious if there was any cultural reference in Florida at that time. If they
Well,
called
yeah, they called it the skunk ape at the time.
Okay.
Florida skunk ape. Florida skunk ape. After I had my experience, that's what I started hearing them being called.
Yeah.
Florida skunk ape. They smell like sulfur water, which tasted like the water that's why I had to go next door. Our water tasted like that. So we smelled the water and taste. Well, I wouldn't have been able to smell them anyway if that's what they smelled like.
Because everything smelled like
Yeah,
that.
because the whole yard. I mean, we drink this crap, man.
Yeah. And what were you telling me before we recorded about power lines?
Oh, yes. All right. Well, I can't show it to you now. But on the side where our driveway is, you seen those two power lines that I showed you, right? Where the driveway was at? I'd say 50 yards to that side of the house was the power line. It went all the way across 41, all the way into Bonita Springs, all the way through the Crescent State Park. I mean, it's all right there. The state park, everything right there. And it went right straight through. Because I used to go cooning, trapping coons with an old man. He was about like in his 70s. Everywhere he drove was 15 miles an hour. Everywhere he went, 15 miles an hour. I don't care if he was on the main highway, 15 miles an hour. Like, it'd take us a long time to get somewhere. But we'd go out and we'd set traps, and then the following morning we'd go back and collect everything. We used those power lines to go and set up our traps. We set them off to the side, But yeah, that's...
Did that old man ever have any experiences of anything? Did he ever mention anything?
Yeah, I wasn't talking. Well, actually, his wife was Cherokee, so yes, I believe that they already knew that some of the things that existed, but we never really discussed.
Yeah, it's interesting that those power lines went to the state park.
Yeah.
Because you hear about these things maybe being in state parks a lot.
Oh yes. That's what that. Because that one, actually, the state park went out to the bay. There's a big river. The Estero River was right there, and it divided the state park. Then they started developing on the other side and put like retirement trailer parks for the old folks, and put trailer parks out there. You probably seen all them Florida home places that they got trailers everywhere.
Yeah.
For the old people, for retirees. Let me put them that way. But like on one side of Williams Road, I mean, it was all cabbage palms, nothing but cabbage palms. Now it's all houses. It's all houses on one side, but where I showed you ours, the same plot of lands still looks the same as it did back in 1978.
Because it burnt down and just became jungle.
Yeah, the house that's still there was there. That house was built, 1974. That house is there because I remember it being built. We moved there. We bought that land in 1971. And we started building in 1971 on that house. We got Jim Walter's home that only paid so much to get so much done. So the whole house wasn't completely done. We had to do our own wiring and stuff like that. My dad did. I think that's why the house burnt. But anyway.
Well, man, and it's cool having that reference on Google Maps of
right?
those trees and everything.
But like I said, that's like 7 acres. 7 acres that we owned at that time. It's still there. It's undeveloped. Nobody's doing nothing with it. I'm thinking about moving back and doing something with it.
Yeah.
But my dad still owns it.
Does he really?
Yeah, he still owns it, but he's passed away.
Wow.
So how to get that property back, we'll probably have to pay some tax dollars.
Yeah.
To get it back. But other than that.
Wow. Yeah, 7 acres down in Florida.
Yeah, 7 acres that we haven't been on since 1979.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Man.
It's been a while. I don't even know. I don't even know if somebody ever came and got the bus out of the backyard, or it might still be there. I have no clue. Yeah. See, as I was looking into the on the Google the maps.
Yeah.
I was looking for the power lines. Well, when they did all the development over there, they moved the power lines, but the road's still there.
Oh.
It's a sugar sand road, and if you get your vehicle, you better have a 4-wheel drive. That's how that guy in the Jeep, he had 4-wheel drive in his Jeep to go get the raccoons and stuff. When we was trapping the raccoons, there was no way we was getting stuck, especially with him driving 15 miles an hour everywhere he went.
Hey, if you're in your 70s and 1970s,
Yes.
makes you
More
quite
careful.
old.
Quite old, yes. He wasn't that slow catching them raccoons and getting away from them possums.
Did y'all set hand traps for them?
No, like the little metal pins.
no.
He had hundreds of them, and what he would do with them, when he catches those raccoons, he had a contract to sell all this contract to the cooning people that catch coon dogs and all that. He sells them to them for $8 a head. He was making
He was selling them alive to them?
live. Yeah, so they could tree them and take them over there. So a lot of the raccoons that they got in Tennessee and Kentucky came from Florida.
Wow.
So, I mean, he was getting, for the kittens, he was getting $45 a kitten.
Wow.
So he was making good money, but he dressed and he acted like he was the poorest man on earth. And that's how I was like, man, it's got money, man.
Were those raccoon kittens cute?
Oh, yes, they always are.
I would have loved to raise a
But
raccoon.
they grow out of that stage and they become very vicious.
Oh, yeah.
You can't control them when they get to a certain age.
Well, man, Henry, this was just such a great interview, and I appreciate you allowing me to interview you, because it's weird a stranger messaging you on Facebook and you
Right.
being open to this. So I appreciate your openness.
Well, have to be.
Yeah.
Have to be. If not, people are just going to go run around making fun of other people. I don't care if they make fun of me anyway. What are they going to do? They're going to change my knowing
Yeah.
because they don't believe or they don't know? You can't. I'm already convinced. I'm already for sure that they do exist. And I had my opportunity to actually witness them. And not too many people can actually say they had actually witnessed them. They've had, I've heard this out in the woods. And no, I'm talking actually seeing them for where they are. But what they are, I couldn't tell you.
Why is it important to you to tell it face to face?
Because that way you can hear the authenticity of it, and not be, oh, I'm just reading this online and there's no voice behind it. And when I'm reading something, I'm not reading the author's reading. I'm reading it from my own thoughts. I'm hearing my own voice when I'm reading it.
Yeah.
When you hear it from somebody's voice and how urgent you can feel it.
Yeah.
And when you feel the authenticity of it, it puts away all doubt.
Well, man, this has been so awesome, Henry. Thank you again for doing this.
No problem. Hey, young man.
Hi.
There's a baby raccoon by the tree over there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We were just talking about baby raccoons.
There's a baby raccoon right there. Oh.
We were just talking about baby raccoons.
You gotta get a picture of it.
Yeah, let's get a video. Can you show me where it is? So there at the end of the interview, a random kid at the playground approached us, and he brought us over to this baby raccoon at the bottom of a tree. And I was concerned for the little thing, so Henry, with his experience catching raccoon kittens, said, if you touch it and it's warm and it hisses, then it'll be fine. Its mama will come back for it. But if you touch it and it's cold and unresponsive, it'll probably die. So I touched it, and sure enough, it was cold and unresponsive. And it was about 100 degrees that day, so for something to be cold on a 100-degree day, you know it's in bad shape. So we got it in my car, we turned on the heated seats for it, we went to CVS, we got a syringe and Pedialyte, and as the little raccoon kitten started to get fluids in it and started to get its body temperature warmed up, it fully reanimated and climbed up on my shoulder, and I thought I was getting attacked, and there's a really funny video of it that I will have linked in the show notes. I had to pull over because he started climbing on me. Okay. Here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So we reached out to permitted wildlife rehabbers, and they said, we're all full right now, so just keep her alive until we have a slot open up, and that they'll call around and try to find a slot for her. So for the next 2 weeks, my girlfriend and I bottle fed her, and Henry was super helpful in giving us tips on how to keep the little thing alive, as well as Joe from episode 22 of Matchbook Flashback. She had raised a raccoon as a kid, so she gave us a lot of helpful tips. And it was just the most beautiful little thing. And then we got a call from this 100-acre raccoon sanctuary where they have access to food year-round. And this sanctuary said, we've just acquired 4 little brothers and sisters for her that are her exact same age that she can be raised with and then released with. And so I have a beautiful picture in the show notes of her meeting her brothers and sisters who she now lives with in the wild. So happy ending to the baby raccoon. And lastly, I mentioned earlier in the episode that my brother Charlie, who lives in St. Petersburg, Florida, he was willing to drive down to Henry's property in Estero and FaceTime with Henry while they tried to explore it. After the house burnt down in '79, Henry hadn't been back to the property, so we were curious if the school bus and those big stone rocks were still there. Here's my brother Charlie and our friend Austin, who helped him out.
And the houses are getting more few and far between. The puddles are getting bigger each time. Austin's checking them for me. This one's about 5 inches deep. We're gonna send it through it. My car's just barely making it through this wet dirt road. That's where they used to keep their chickens. So here's the property. We were just on a FaceTime with Henry. He was showing us around. Basically, where the school bus is behind that tree line right there, which if we had better gear we'd be able to access, but it's this basically like a swamp marsh now, which we're definitely not getting through in our flip-flops. But makes me wish we had a drone to be able to go fly over and check it out. But it's really out in the sticks here. Beautiful property though.
Henry messaged me afterwards and said, "Well, we tried. I wish I could have been able to be there. I would have walked out there just to see the property one more time." The weeds were shoulder high, the water was knee deep. I told Charlie it would not be safe going onto the property because you would never be able to see any snakes, especially if you got near the rocks. Heck, we had to kill several copperheads that would hide in those rocks. I made sure they did not put themselves in danger. I know how that property gets after a good rainy season. That is why our house wasn't built on a concrete slab. Right where he took the pictures of the Australian pines was the front of the house. The brick sidewalk was left of the Australian pine. Now, if you turn slightly to the right, that's where the bus was. It does look a bit squatchy there, still.
And I guess lastly, did you say you were struggling with stage 4 lung cancer?
Stage 3 lung cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with wanting to share this stuff? Or?
No.
Okay.
No. Life and death is the same cup, man.
Okay.
You can't have one without the other.
Gotcha.
You can't have this and the contents at the same time. You can have the contents, but no vessel to put it in. They're one and the same.
Yeah.
The cup, what's inside the cup, up, down, left, right. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just can't have one without the other. It's just that simple.
This episode is dedicated to the memory of Henry's brothers Andrew and Arturo Jr. Well, as you can see, the match has gone out, and as the smoke clears, I can still smell that sulfury 1978 Florida swamp water. Or maybe that's the skunk ape. Either way, I hope you enjoyed those Estero Skunk Ape encounters as much as I did. And if you did enjoy them, do me a favor, text a link of this episode to someone who you think might enjoy it too. Maybe you also have a brother in Florida who would want to hear it. Send it to him. Spreading this show by word of mouth really helps me out, so I appreciate any time you share this show with someone you know. Another great way to support Matchbook Flashback is to give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. It just takes one click and it really helps this show grow. And hey, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you to Henry for sharing your experience. Thank you to my brother Charlie and our friend Austin for getting wet and doing some on-the-spot recording. And thank you to Out of the Woods Wildlife Rescue and Rehab for finding a sanctuary for the raccoon kitten. And thank you to my girlfriend for being understanding when I come home from a podcast recording with a raccoon. I love you, Cat. And of course, thank you for being here and listening. This is a tiny little show, so I appreciate every single one of you. And I hope you come back next week because I have another match to light.